Hey guys, all right, jumping right into it. I have a 16-inch lace closure from Sogoodhair, and I also have two bundles of 14-inch straight hair. They sent goodies, a wig cap, elastic band, and wig combs. They also send a silk wrap and mink lashes. So these are the two bundles of their silky straight hair. And I also have the matching transparent lace closure, and transparent lace is by far my favorite lace to work with. It is just so durable and everything. So I'm using a 23-inch head block because I am making this wig for a client. This is the mesh wig caps that I get through my vendor for my custom wig, so I am using the size large. Now with these caps, even though they're made to fit large heads, sometimes I do still get excess space. So I'm going to show you all what I do to kind of combat that and ensure that this wig is going to be one that is custom fitted. So I'm going to gather up all that excess fabric there. I'm going to pin it down, and I am going to sew that excess space upwards. I'm going to show you in the next clip what I did. Bam, just like that. And I got that from the Hair Life official here on YouTube. So with the closure, I'm going to pin it, and I'm going to use my metallic silver Sharpie, and I am going to trace all around that closure. And this is the beginning of my guidelines. And there you have it, the beginning of my guidelines. So the first line that I'm going to do is going to be about 1/2 inch close to the trace line. And the reason why it's going to be 1/2 inch up is because I want to make sure that that track is as close as possible to the closure for when I do sew the closure down, because in this video I pretty much show you guys the entire process of how I make my wigs, and I do put the closure in last, so that's why. And I use my index finger so that I have about 1 inch in between lines, just to ensure that I pretty much use up all of the hair and that this wig is full. And yeah, so I'm just pretty much going all around, and I'm trying to make sure that I am going in a straight line, no crooked lines. And I do about maybe 9 to 10 lines typically, so it should look something like this. All right, so moving on, we're going to bleach the knots. I typically use 10 volume developer if I have a fair skinned client, because it tends to bleach the knots a yellow tone. So I'm just showing you all of the things that I'll be using. And I'm going to show you guys how I mix my bleach and developer, and I use a 2-to-1 ratio so that I can have a perfectly thick mixture. And I use my whisk to mix it, and I mix for a long time because I'm using so little developer, but I always end up with a very thick consistency and a thick mixture. So once it's all mixed and ready to be used, I like to take some water in a spray bottle, and I'll just spray the hair ever so lightly. And I do this just in case if the bleach does seep through. It doesn't necessarily process the hair, because with bleach you can't use bleach on wet hair. So now I take a popsicle stick, a wax stick, and I just spread this mixture all over the closure. I'm not pushing the mixture through, just spreading it. And then I wrap it up in the foil like a sandwich, and I let it process for about 15 to 20 minutes before I wash it out. Now during the processing time is when I typically like to go ahead and double the bundles, but I just wanted to show you guys something really quickly. I like to use the open toe presser foot when it comes to doubling my bundles, and I use the standard presser foot when actually making my wig. So right now I'm just attaching the open toe presser foot, and now I'm going to double my bundles. How I like to double my bundles is I like to do like the pinch method, where I keep the tracks side by side, And with the open toe presser foot, it just makes doing this a breeze. So if you make wigs on the sewing machine, definitely invest in that open toe presser foot. It is godsend. And my bobbin actually ran out, so I'm just showing you guys how I like to maintain and troubleshoot my machine. Sometimes I use oil. I take out some of that debris and dust from the thread, and I just reload my new bobbin and get ready to sew. And yeah, I'm putting back my standard presser foot because I am getting ready to make the wig. And I just wanted to show you guys my settings for the Tradition Singer machine. So my length is 2, width is 5, and my tension is at 3. So I went ahead and I rinsed out the bleach, and I used my purple shampoo. I'm just showing you guys how perfectly bleached the knots are. And now it's time to sew. So in total, it took me roughly about an hour to make this wig. Not long at all. As you guys can see, when I start on that track, I do reverse stitch. I back stitch about 2 to 3 times just to lock that track in place so that it doesn't go anywhere. And I don't pull or tug on the cap as I'm sewing because I don't want it to stretch and end up being too big for my client, even though she has a big head. I still don't want it to be too big, so I just let the machine do its thing, and I pretty much just guide the cap and I guide the entire wig pretty much through the machine. I'm trying to get some good angles so that you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm doing here. And I hope you guys kind of, got an idea. I'm going to, I guess it's just time for me to invest in a better camera or better lights or something, because I do want to do a more in-depth video. But I have a playlist on my channel that shows you guys all the ins and outs when it comes to making wigs on the sewing machine. So definitely check it out if you guys are interested. So now I am sewing on the last line, and I'm going to show you guys the completed, not the completed wig, but the almost completed wig. I went back in and I added the elastic band that came with the hair bundles, and I sewed my closure down by hand. I did have a little bit of space, so I did put the wig back through just so that I could kind of seal the track enclosure in place. And I cut that excess cap, and there I have my wig. So I'm using the She Is Bomb waxing stick to style, and I'm using my Andis Pro hot comb. My hot comb died on me recently, y'all. I had to get a new one. I had to go right to Walmart to get a new one. But all I'm pretty much doing is just silk pressing the closure, kind of molding that part into place. The closure is pre-plucked, so I didn't have to go back in and pluck it, which is really, really good. And I'm just going to silk press the hair. I didn't leave it in the length that you see it here. I did go back in with my shears to kind of give it a blunt cut, which I thought was just so cute. And then I went back in with the flat iron to just bump it a little bit more. Look at that body. Like, this hair was actually really, really good, and my client loved it. I did go ahead and I tried the wig on myself just to make sure that I liked it and it was to my standard. I'll leave the links to this hair down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.